Our shelters are in crisis. I probably don't need to tell you that. In 2022, for the first time in well over a decade, the number of dogs dying in our nation's shelters went up instead of down, and it's continued to go up ever since. And that doesn't count the thousands of ghost animals who were turned away from their municipal shelter because of managed intake policies, or the unwanted animals in municipalities with no animal services. The stories are hard to hear, and they grow every day. The causes of this crisis are many, and together they've created a perfect storm that has overwhelmed our already struggling shelter system. The policies and practices that brought us so far can't take us any further. There is a Japanese proverb that says, when you have come 95% of the way there, you are only halfway done. And that's true. This last challenge to create shelters that are sustainable, important resources for our communities, and that shelter in the truest sense of the word. It will take new ideas, new energy, and a lot more people getting involved in solving this crisis. And here's the thing, it's not hard and it's not expensive, but it isn't easy. Having now made well over 150 visits to shelters and rescues in 13 states, I believe there are 3 keys to a successful shelter. If a shelter has these 3 pieces, they're on their way to solving the animal crisis in their community. With these critical pieces in place, it's only a matter of time. The first one is leadership, committed to finding answers and saving lives. This means being open to any and all help, being transparent about the situation, and looking for every kind of solution out there, be it a program, policy, or a practice, and not being sidetracked by personal agendas or the drama that comes whenever passionate people get together. Open-minded, determined, humble leadership will find solutions. As Dr. Kim Sanders at Anderson County Paws in South Carolina told me, when you take the option of killing adoptable animals off the table, you find other options. We've seen that leadership takes all forms. In some places, that leader is a director or an ACO. In Kentucky, it's often been the judge executive. It might be your county council, your Department of Agriculture, or the sheriff. In other places, the leader is a volunteer or a rescue organization that steps up to lead the way from behind. The real determinant, though, is you. In municipal shelters, it's you, the citizens, who must demand, hire, and/or elect this leadership. Municipal shelters are funded with tax dollars, so you have a right to hold your leaders accountable. They can use your money to warehouse and kill dogs, or they can use that money to shelter and rehome animals. The second piece of the puzzle is affordable veterinary access. Shelters need to be able to fully vaccinate, spay and neuter, test and treat injured animals quickly and affordably. They shouldn't have to beg veterinarians to give away their time, skills, and resources. And they shouldn't have to wait weeks or months for appointments or send home animals unspayed or unneutered. The animal in the shelter is no less deserving of humane veterinary care than the one living in a mansion down the street. We have a veterinary shortage all over this country. Veterinary schools are expanding their programs and new schools are opening to meet the need, but getting veterinary care to the shelters will take initiatives that motivate vets to practice shelter medicine. Affording veterinary care for our shelter animals will require new solutions, whether that means opening a clinic in the shelter or outfitting a mobile clinic, or training vet techs to do spay-neuter surgeries, or lobbying for funds that prioritize spay-neuter of shelter animals. We've got to find ways to provide affordable, accessible care if we want to solve this crisis. The last thing, and in my opinion, the most important piece, is community engagement. The shelter belongs to the community, and not just the shelter, but the animals in its care. The community must be invited and welcomed into the shelter building in every way. This means having hours that enable the community to get onto the shelter campus, to not just look for a lost pet or bring a found one, but to volunteer, to foster, to adopt, to donate, to be active participants in the success of a shelter. Anything that has to do with animals should happen at the shelter. The shelter should be a valuable resource for the entire community, providing training, advice, and classes, social events and festivals that revolve around animals, a pet pantry for people who need help, education on humane care, spaces for playgroups and pack walks and socializing animals. The shelter should lead the community in providing humane care and assistance, not be a place for people who run out of resources to dump their animals. Long before they reach that breaking point, the shelter should have stepped in to assist, to be sure as many animals as possible stay in their homes. I could share so many stories of shelters we visited that have found ways to be a sustainable shelter that are beloved resources to their community. You'll find many of them in our book. There are hundreds of ideas and entire lists in the book, and stories of people just like you who are rewriting the story. I know it can be done, even in the poor places, even in the places with few resources or only a tiny paid staff or no paid staff. I believe this crisis is solvable, but it will take a lot more people getting involved. There are ways that anyone, anywhere can help. You can find them and more on our website, whowillletthedogsout.org, and also in our free resource guide there that we add to every week. You could also read stories of shelters and rescues all over this country and the many ways they are saving lives. Solving this crisis is up to every community. The national organizations don't have the answers. They have programs and policies to recommend, but they are general, not specific to your community. We can't lean on their programs and grants. That's not sustainable. You are the best resource for your shelter and your community. You can solve this crisis. I'm sure in your head some of you are arguing for all the reasons why the crisis can't be solved, all the ways it feels impossible and out of your control. It's been said that if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. We have to stop wasting our energy lamenting the problem. We need to instead use that same energy to find solutions. Let's instead argue for all the ways we can fix this, because we can. Let's talk about that. For more information, to purchase copies of the book, or to contact us about giving this presentation in person for your community, visit whowillletthedogsout.org.